For 8 seasons it graced our television screens, The Young Doctors, and it's now on DVD for devoted fans and a whole new generation to enjoy. Diana McLean played highly successful and dedicated nursing sister Vivienne Jefferies in the popular Australian soap drama, and she's on the lunch break to talk about it. Good afternoon, Diana. Can you hear me all right?
I can, John. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for hanging on while I just went through that last musical break.
Okay.
Thank you for giving us of your valuable time. I really do appreciate that.
Well, it's a bit of an occasion, isn't it? I would have thought.
Well, it is for me. I don't often interview superstars, you see.
No. We don't often have sort of years and years of a show suddenly put out on the market years after. I mean, I'm surprised there's enough people living that still remember.
Oh, yes.
It's a long time ago.
Yes, it is. It is. And look, we might just talk about that. First off, can you tell me the push for getting it onto DVD? When did that start?
Oh, John, I've got no idea. I've only just heard about it. I've got no idea at all. Darren Gray, who has always been best sort of. What can I say? He's always looked after us all with the Young Doctors. I think he started off as a fan, and then he's just been the correlator of everything. As I said to your assistant, if I need to know anything about myself, I ask Darren Gray. He's based in England, and he would know all about this, and he would have been the one who's organised it all. And he's amazing. He really is. Well, the DVDs are coming out, and I really can't say I remember much about it all. It's a long time ago.
Well, we might tell people a little bit about them, or about this collection that's out now, as a matter of fact. I believe it's 250 episodes. This is collection 1. It's got 35 discs apparently. So we've got a running time for fans of 6,250 minutes.
Oh, stop it!
No, seriously, I've got all these facts right here. So, and you probably took part in a great many of those running time.
I've for a few years. Well, I was overseas. I was in London in the late 70s.
Yes.
And I came back and went straight into it. So I came in second year, I think.
Oh, okay.
When Cornelia and Francis wanted to leave, and they wanted someone to come in and virtually play Cornelia. And when they asked me to do it, I said, no, I won't play Cornelia. I know Cornelia. But the scripts at first were written for her, but I played them in a different way. I turned it into my own character, and then they started writing for me. So.
Well, she certainly was a flamboyant character, wasn't she?
Corny, yes.
No, talking about Sister Vivienne Jefferies. She was a highly successful and dedicated nursing sister, and many of the nurses under her control were in fact fear of her at times, and she had
it. The old days when the matron was feared. Yes. I don't know. I suppose it still happens, but it's all very different now, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. And she had a disastrous love life with countless failed marriages and all that.
Oh, Vivienne had disastrous love affairs and loved a whiskey. Mind you, I love whiskey myself, but Vivienne liked it quite a lot, I think.
Yes, and one of which was with Dr. Ian Parrish, who turned out to be a fraud and wasn't a doctor after all.
Oh, God, I don't even remember that, but I'm sure there were so many things like that.
Ah, dear. So how does it make you feel now that it's coming out on DVD and you'll be able to sit back and watch it now yourself?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I've moved on.
Yes.
I mean, I've had quite a successful career as an actor and still am. I'm still working.
Yes.
And I'm still doing voiceovers, and I'm very lucky, really, because I'm no longer a chicken, as you can imagine. But over the years, you sort of, if you're working all the time, you just move on to the next part, really.
Yes.
So it's all a bit of a surprise when something like this comes out, and you have to look at yourself when you were so gorgeous, and even though you didn't think you were at the time.
You're probably still very gorgeous now, I'm telling you.
No, my God, I thought I was fat and I wasn't very attractive. Look at that girl, she was gorgeous.
Ah, dear. We might take a little look at your career, if we may now. That you made your acting debut on Division 4, was it?
Yes, dead body, I think.
Oh gosh, really? Oh, dear.
I think that was about it.
And then you landed roles in TV series such as Number 96 Boney.
I was in Number 96 for about 3 or 4 months, playing Dorothy Dunlop. She had psychic visions.
Oh,
wore
okay.
A lot of caftans.
Ah, dear. And you were talking about before, you within weeks of returning to Australia, you landed the role of Sister Jefferies in The Young Doctors. Yes. And, it's amazing because the program went on to become the longest-running TV drama in Australia after it took the title from Number 96. And that record's now held by Neighbours, I believe.
Oh, I would think so. Well and truly past it by now, I would have thought, yes.
Yes.
I did a stint in Neighbours too, and I came back the second time in the late 90s. I did 3 or 4 months in Neighbours. I can't remember my character's name, though.
You must have played so many roles. It's amazing.
I have. I've been in the business for 50, 60 years. It's a long time.
Yes. Do you still have the passion for it? Oh, you obviously do. You obviously do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, look, it's like any form of the arts or any form of anything, sport as well. You have to have a passion. And once you've got that passion, it doesn't go away.
No.
I don't think it drops away at all.
No.
I started off as a painter, an artist. I studied at the National Gallery School, Victoria.
Do you still get time to do that?
Young, I'd still do it a bit.
Oh,
my
great.
granddaughter
Excellent.
now has gone on to be, she's studying at the National Art School in Sydney, so it's in the blood, I think.
Oh, definitely. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
But all parts of the, painting and then acting, just unfortunately, I say unfortunately because neither of it pays very much.
Oh, dear.
That was my want, that was my passion, so that's been it. I've never really done anything else.
So what are you working on at the moment that we can tell folks about?
Oh, well, no, I've just done a couple of commercials recently, which will go to air eventually. And I've done a lot of Aldi voiceovers over the years, so you probably hear my voice a bit on that. I just do whatever comes up from time to time. The last big thing I did was a big series for Fox called The End, which was on Foxtel, which was a couple of years ago. But, of course, you've had COVID in between.
Oh, yes, of course.
It's coming back again now.
Yes,
Thank you very
indeed.
much.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yes. I'm sitting here in the studio with a mask on now. I tell you, it could be a scene from The Young Doctors now, you know. Except I'm old.
It's going to go, yes, unfortunately. I think we're in for a long haul on this. I really do. It's terrible.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about your voiceover work that you're doing. That must be quite demanding, I suppose.
Well, I've been doing that since I was in my 20s, so I don't really find it demanding. No, it's a technique, to be handed a script and sort of guess pretty much what it is that they're really asking for in it. And you've got to get it into, you'd say 30 seconds, but, you usually have about somewhere between 11 and 15 to put your bit down because the rest of the commercial's got things in it.
So you don't get much of a time.
Have a bit of a stopwatch in your head.
Yes, so you don't get much of a time to sort of read the script and digest it properly.
No.
You're just straight into a recording booth and that's it, is it?
That's it, bang.
Oh,
well, sometimes it's only a couple of words, but you need to know what it is that they're after and what sort of feeling it is.
Yes, yes.
It's just something that I like doing, and I've done it for a long time, and I seem to be reasonably good at it still.
Yes. So what's next for you as far as the as far as film work or the stage or whatever?
Nothing much. I haven't done any stage work for a while. I did quite a lot there for a while. I had a nomination for Best Actress for a thing called 4,000 Miles, and I did Best Support for Other Desert Cities at the Ensemble, and then I've toured with my version of Florence Foster Jenkins in Glorious, which was very successful. And then COVID hit pretty much. I think I went to Spain after that for a month, and when I came back it was December, and then COVID hit in, January, February. So
yes.
That the last time I did any theatre was probably 2019.
Do you? Is it a different kind of skill for doing stage, the theatre, than obviously than doing in films? Yes.
Yeah, because you've got to pull it right back when you. I mean, I'm always getting into trouble when I'm on the phone and I'm out. My family will say to me, would you please don't project so much. People can hear what you're saying. So that's what you learn to do with theatre, of course, is that, you're trying to hit the back of the seat so people can hear you, but you don't need that for TV and for film. You bring it back a big notch, and film, as you would know, with American films, and most of them whisper these days.
Oh, yes.
It's very, because in film you're enormously big on screen. You can't be doing too much.
Yes.
But on stage you're a little dot for some people, so you've got to make it a bit bigger all round.
Yes, and the thing that I've noticed too about the younger ones, they're not like you. You enunciate very clearly. You can hear everything you're saying. A lot of them, when you're watching these films, they just tend to mumble, don't they?
No, they mumble now, and it's unfortunately the same on stage with a lot of them. It's a bit like they always tell opera singers, cross the T's and dot the I's. Which is, otherwise people can't understand you, and on stage that's really important.
Of course, yes.
And dot the I's, because people really can't hear you unless you finish off whatever the sentence or the word is that you're saying.
Yes.
Mumbling has become the norm.
Oh, it has, yes, unfortunately.
But mind you, I can't understand half the word my younger grandchildren, so they all mumble. So, and it's not because I'm getting deaf at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, Diana, look, thank you so much for talking with me. I really do appreciate this.
People have enjoyed it.
Yes,
I hope they remember what the Young Doctors is.
Yes. I might just ask you, just sort of harking back to the Young Doctors, what was it like at that time as far as fans go? I presume you must have got an awful lot of fan mail at that particular time. Would it have been hard to keep up with it, to answer it all?
We didn't get all of it. Grundy kept a lot of it, I think, because we got sacks full of it. We answered a lot of it. We didn't answer everything. I mean, there was I remember one young man who wrote to me and wanted me to come and live with him in his caravan park somewhere in Queensland. I mean, so they were very sweet, though. I mean, gosh, if it wasn't for the fans, you wouldn't have a show, would you?
Exactly.
And we used to tour quite a lot. We didn't get paid for it in those days, as you did later on for Neighbours. But they used to send us out almost every weekend. We flew all the way up to Queensland, and then they'd put us in little tiny planes and fly us off into back places. Our whole weekends were often taken up with that, and signing autographs and talking and being there. So, the fans would, thank goodness for the fans.
Yes. Well, it certainly sounded very full on with what you've just been described, and and also thinking about you're having to learn your lines as well. I mean, it's a very, very full life. That
soap, it's slightly different because they do tend to be rather similar. Some of the scripts. Yes. In fact, there were a couple of instances where if you made a mistake, you could slip into a script from a few months ago. It was, for theatre, it's very different. You have to learn that all down. And I don't remember a single word of any play about a month after it's finished. Not a word. I'm sure it's all in there. So,
yes,
with soap, it's just, you almost learn it on the spot. I think it's much more natural.
Yes,
with those sort of series and things, is to make it as natural as possible, as to sort of not learn your lines too thoroughly, because it doesn't sound natural.
No, indeed. Well, look, Diana, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. It's been lovely chatting with you, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavours. And
thank you.
Maybe we can maybe we can have you on the show again at some stage when whatever you're involved in.
That'd be lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye now. Bye bye.
Bye.